In the beautiful village of Amuku, people gathered every year under the full moon for the moon dance competition. This night was special for the maidens, as eligible young men from the village, especially noblemen, came to choose a bride. Olaedo was the most beautiful maiden in the village. Her name, meaning gold, suited her well. Her beauty was known far and wide, and many believed that she shone brighter than the moon itself. When she danced, it was as if the stars danced with her. This year, the prince came to watch the dance. When he saw Olaedo, his heart felt warm and happy. He knew he wanted her to be his wife. After the dance, he told everyone that he has chosen Olaedo. Olaedo was excited too because she liked the prince. But not everyone was happy for Olaedo. Some of the other maidens felt jealous. They whispered to each other, saying, "Who does Olaedo think she is?" The prince only looked at her. "You must do something to stop her." Then, one of the maidens remembered a wizard who lived in a faraway village. This wizard had seen Olaedo before and wanted her to marry him. But Olaedo had said no because she did not love him. The jealous maidens decided to go to the wizard and ask him to help them. The jealous maidens found the wizard and told him about the prince choosing Olaedo. The wizard was angry because he still wanted Olaedo. He agreed to help them and cast a spell on her. One day, Olaedo was going to the stream. The wizard came out of the bush, whispered some magic words that made Olaedo forget everything, her family, even the prince. Olaedo's eyes looked strange, like she was in a dream. She walked all the way to the wizard village and stayed with him. She did not know where she was or why she was there. She only knew she had to stay with the wizard. When the prince found out that Olaedo was missing, he was very sad. He looked everywhere in the village, asking, "Where is Olaedo? Has anyone seen her?" But no one knew where she was. Even her parents were confused. The prince decided he would go and find Olaedo, no matter how far he had to travel. The prince consulted the Ezemo. Ezemo told him that Olaedo is in a faraway land. Ezemo gave the prince some protection against the evil spirits of the forest and bade him safe trip. The prince began his journey, walking through the forests and rivers until he finally reached the wizard's village. There, he saw Olaedo with the wizard. She was sitting quietly, looking lost, and did not seem to recognize the prince. The prince knew that the wizard magic was strong, but he was ready to fight for her. He spoke to the wizard and said, "Let Olaedo go. She does not belong here." The wizard laughed and said, "If you want her back, you must break the spell. But my spell is strong. You will need great courage." The prince nodded. "I am ready." To break the spell, the prince remembered the special words of Ezemo. He would need to remind Olaedo of her true home and the people who loved her. The prince went to Olaedo and took her hand. He began to sing a gentle song that they used to sing in their village. He told her stories of the moonlight dances and the warm laughter of their people. He reminded her of her family, her friends, and the promise they shared. Slowly, Olaedo's eyes started to clear. She looked at the prince and felt a warmth in her heart. She remembered the village, the dance, and how happy she was with the prince. Finally, she said, "Prince, he came. I remember." The spell was broken, and the wizard's power faded. Olaedo was free. The wizard was angry, but he can't do anything because the spell is broken. The prince took Olaedo's hand, and they left the wizard village together. When they arrived back in their own village, everyone cheered and celebrated. After that day, Olaedo and Prince Ikem were always together. They were married in a grand ceremony under the full moon, with dances and songs, just like the night they first met. After the joyful wedding of Olaedo and Prince Ikem, The elders of the village gathered to discuss what had happened. They were concerned that the jealous of the other maidens had almost caused their prince his true love and happiness. The head elder, Papa Obinna, spoke to the village, saying, "Jealousy and wickedness have no place in our home. The maidens who plotted against Olaedo must answer for their actions." The elders called the maidens before them, Nneka, Amaka, and Chisom, the three who had led the plan to harm Olaedo. The villagers gathered to listen, whispering in anger about the maidens' betrayal. Papa Obinna looked at the maidens and said, "You knew the heart of the prince Ikem, and yet, out of envy, you tried to ruin his happiness. Because of your actions, Olaedo was taken by a spell, and our prince had to travel far and face danger to save her." Nneka, Amaka, and Chisom looked down, ashamed and silent. They understood the pain they had caused, but knew it was too late to undo their actions. The elders whispered among themselves, and then Papa Obinna announced their decision. "For betraying your own sister, for plotting against true love, you will be banished from the village for 5 years. During this time, you will learn the importance of kindness and honor." The crowd murmured in agreement, and the maidens, tearful, knew they had no choice but to accept their punishment. As the maidens prepared to leave, Olaedo stepped forward. Her heart was kind, and she could see the regret in their eyes. She spoke to them gently, saying, "I forgive you, for my heart is at peace, and with my prince, and my happiness is full. I hope that one day you will return with kind hearts and new wisdom." Her words touched everyone. The villagers were proud of Olaedo's kind spirit, and even the jealous maidens were moved to tears. They thanked her for her forgiveness, bowing their heads in respect before they left. With the jealous maidens gone, the village became a place of peace and joy once again. Olaedo and Prince Ikem lived happily together, always surrounded by love and respect from the villagers. For many years, the story of Olaedo's forgiveness and the prince's bravery was told at every full moon dance. And so, the village of Amuku remained a place of love, unity, and peace, guided by the lessons of Olaedo and the prince. Thank you for watching. Love you all.